Check this bike out. $200 fine. This one's a 1968 Bridgestone 175. You don't see these bikes pop up very often. And for 200 bucks, I think we got a pretty good deal. So the seller stated this thing hasn't ran in years. It was just sitting in his garage. He kind of forgot about it. He said he thinks it's unfixable and could be used as a parts bike. But I'm pretty optimistic about it. It does have compression, feels like, at least. We'll get a gauge on there and see, but it does kick over. And the seller said it did have spark. So there's really no reason this thing should not run if we get the carbs back on there. You can see the carbs are taken off. I believe both carbs come with this bike. But here's the VIN right there. Kind of cool. So I've never owned this model before. I've owned the smaller Bridgestones. The 175s are kind of hard to find. But you can see here's the oil, the 2-stroke oil, and you fill that up with the oil tank right here. This has the steering dampener on it. Gauge looks like it's in great shape, but there's 18,323 miles on it. Crazy. Believe this is the choke. You've got your horn, lights, throttle. Gas tank has a filter on it. The seat is immaculate. No rips in the seat at all. Has the taillight on there. The covers are missing. That's pretty common with these bikes. Pipes are in great shape for the year. Check out that brake setup there. Pretty cool. Fenders look good. Gas tank has the rubbers on there. All the badges are there. Looks like an aftermarket RPM gauge. Brakes are working. Let's see if the clutch pulls in here. Oh yeah. So today's goal, it's gonna be pretty optimistic, but we're gonna try to get this thing to run and drive today by the end of the video. So this one should be fun. Well, we got this thing in the garage. Let's start taking a look at it. So right off the bat, let's check and see if there's a toolkit in here. Oh, no way, look at that. I think that's the original manual. Oh, there's a couple tools in there too. That's pretty cool. Wow. Yep. Original owner's manual, tucked away. That's pretty cool. You never see that. Put that back in there. Huh. Usually those are just empty, so that's really cool to see. Missing the battery here. There is oil in it, it looks like. 2-stroke oil that gets pumped to the carbs. Looks like both carbs are off. Let's see if the slides are working. Yep. See if the choke works. Oh yeah, look at that. Cool. Both spark plugs are in there with the boots. Gas tank's on there. Pipes have no rust at the bottom at all. Tires are holding air, surprisingly. Yeah, but check out these pipes, not bad. No rot. The air box is on there too. Wow, it's pretty complete. Petcock looks like it's a little iffy here. And the keys in here. So here is the box of parts it came with. It looks like the battery was labeled 2020. So it possibly ran 5 years ago. All right, here's one carb. Here's the second carb. It looks like they're all there. And then the covers. That's good. These are the tubes going right there. So we're just missing the side cover for this thing. Alright, we're at the right side of the bike. There's a little dipstick here. Nope, not a dipstick, just a cap. Let's see if there's any oil in it. No, there's oil in it. Looks really clear. Doesn't smell like gas. There's definitely oil in it. Looks like brand new oil. Let's see how rusty the gas tank is. Got the filter down in here. Oh, that is not bad. Check that out on the inside. Holy, that is clean. I was fully expecting to see tons of rust. That is an extremely clean tank. Alright, that's going to make things a lot easier. Alright, let's see if she goes through the gears. Maybe that was the reason the guy sold it so cheap here. Oh, there's no chain. Well, that's a problem. Is there a chain in the box here? I don't see a chain for it. So it's missing the chain. That might be the reason it sold so cheap. You can't test the transmission if there's no chain on there. Yeah, rear brake is working. Cool. Seat coming off. Interesting seat. I see all the springs in there. So the oil tank sits below the gas tank like that. And then you can see it feeds out of that line here to the tank. That is interesting. Alright, let's take a look. Wiring here. So that's positive going to the battery. I'm guessing that one's negative. I'm guessing that one's negative too, it's black. So I think that's pretty much it for wiring. Not too bad. Up here you've got the two coils. Got the horn. Alright, so that's all there. And it goes up to here to the tack. And it looks like the thin red wire and the thin black is for the tack. So this one for the black and this one for the red. Alright, taking a look at the battery. It is 12 volt. Let's see if we've got any voltage. Alright, it has some, 6.92. Try to charge that up. Alright, I don't know if this battery is going to work, but we'll try it. So it looks like we're just going to hook up this one to negative, this one to positive. Alright, that's hooked up. Let's turn the key, see if we get anything. Nothing. Oh, there we go. Headlight turned on. Oh, look at that. Neutral light's not working. I wonder if we're not neutral. We might not be in neutral. Neutral light's not turning on. Horn's working. Looks like the high and low beam light's working. You guys can see high and low. So that's working. I don't know what the last thing is for. Oh, there's the tail light. So this might just be a generator for the lights. I don't know if there's electric start with that or not. We'll have to look into that a little bit further. But I can't find a button for it. The key doesn't work for electric start, so I'm guessing it's just to power the lights on this thing. Let's see if we have spark. Good, stuck in here. Okay. Let's see what kind of plugs we have. Brand new. So that can either be a good thing or a bad thing. So maybe the guy put brand new plugs in trying to diagnose a problem. Maybe there was no start, no spark problem. Or maybe he was just doing maintenance on it and put brand new plugs in before letting it sit. I'm guessing this thing does not have spark, and he was changing out the spark plug to see if maybe that would cure the no spark problem. That's just a guess. Let's put a little penetrating oil down there. Actually, more of a mystery oil. We'll put down just a little bit. This thing's been sitting for a while. Alright, on to the next plug. Let's see if that one's new too. Yeah, brand new. Look at that, never been used. NGK BR8HS plug. Well, here we go, moment of truth. Will it have spark? Key is on, kick it over a couple times. Oh, look at that. Good spark. Oh, yeah. Wow. See if it's consistent. Yeah, great spark. I was really not expecting that. Let's see if the left plug has spark. Oh yeah, great spark. Well, so far we're getting extremely lucky with this bike. We have spark. All the lights are working. So let's see if we have compression. So if we have over 90 psi, this thing should fire up. We should probably have over 120 though, if we want this thing to run properly. All right, we're looking for over 100. We're really looking for over 120. Kick it over, see what we get here. Oh, 140. Wow. That is amazing compression. Why was this thing not running? All right, checking the next cylinder. See what we get. For over 120. Let's see. That one's got even better compression. Wow. That one's got 150. All right. If we can get the carbs cleaned out, I'm thinking this thing will fire right up. Man, oh man, we might get a really good deal on this thing. It's nice when people label things. It says right carb. That way we don't have to guess. Float appears good. We're looking for any pinholes. A lot of times the solder comes out right here. It develops pinholes there. This one actually looks pretty good. So that float we can put off to the side. Carb doesn't look too bad. We might let these sit in the ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, they're pretty gunked up, aren't they? This one's taken all apart. Looks like somebody was going to do a carb clean and then just kind of forgot about it. Here's the gasket. Whatever this thing is. This must be for the boot. Alright, here's the main jet. Oh, that is completely clogged. Look at that. So that actually has what looks like a little piece of wire broken off in there. Check that out. So that's completely clogged. Looks like somebody tried to take a little wire and clean that out and it broke off in there. So we're going to try to get that main jet out of there. I don't like that. Hopefully we can poke that out through the other side here. It's about the right size. Try to fish that one out. Or we could probably push it in. There we go. There. Pushed out. I don't know where it went. But we got that unclogged then. It's better. Alright, and then we've got, look how small that needle is. Thing is tiny. And then you've got your seat. Seat looks pretty clean. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And you've got your gasket for your seat. And then you've got your emulsion tube going down. That's all clogged up. And then your bolts for the carb. And your pin. So carb looks pretty good. Alright, then we've got the pilot coming out. Yeah, that one's really heavily clogged. See if we can poke through that one. Get that one cleaned. The wire might be a little bit too thick to go through there. 17.5. That is a tiny pilot. We'll blow that out with compressed air. Then there's the little air screw on the side. Oh boy. That one's stuck in there. So what we're going to do is let this carb sit in the ultrasonic cleaner. Hopefully that loosens that air screw up and then we can get the old gas line off there, get everything rebuilt, and this carb will be done. Everything looks pretty good. Alright, using some simple green degreaser, and pour that in. Don't need a whole lot. Alright, just gonna dunk that in. That into. Alright, set this to 30 minutes. Alright, carb is out of the ultrasonic cleaner. Unfortunately, I still can't get that air screw out. So hopefully that's stuck at the right setting. We'll work on that a little bit later. But the bowl is clean, all the jets are clear. We're going to put this one back together. Start working on the left-hand carb. Alright, moving on to the left carb. Let's take a look. This one still has the gasket intact on this one. A little gunked up. There's a pin. Let's see what the float looks like here. I don't see any pinholes at all on that. That looks pretty good. The bowl on this one is pretty rough. see what the jets look like, see if these are all clogged. Main jet's clogged up a little bit, not as bad as the last one. Here's the needle. Ooh, the seat's a little gunked up. And here's the pilot. Pilot's extremely gunked. This one can go right in the ultrasonic cleaner. Then we'll get this one back together after that one's cleaned up. Alright, left hand carb, all put together, all ready to go. Alright, we're going to clean off the slide a little bit. You can see there's some salt from driving yesterday on the snowy roads. Spray that down with a little WD-40. Alright, so slide goes in, notch part out, just like that. And there's a little groove it lines up with right there. We can get that spun on. And there's a choke plunger there. That looks good. Alright, now we can get this onto here. And you go through the hole here with a screwdriver and tighten this down. And we're gonna wait to do that because we have to get the fuel line on still. Alright, now we're on the left hand side and you can see we've got the oil pump here. So when you hit the throttle, you can see it activates the pump here. So we want to see if oil is getting down to the main line. From the oil tank, this hooks up into the gas tank, into the oil tank up here. And it flows down through this line into the pump here. So we can take off this line and see if any oil's in there. So if anything's pouring out, that's a good sign. As you can see, it's coming out. So that's good. We can put that back on. So that's getting oil. We can tighten these up. It looks like these are all loose. Now, there's also a little bleed screw right down here. The one with the little gasket there. Let's see. We pump this a couple times. Looks pretty dry. We'll have to check that after we get the bike running. Alrighty. Cut out. Going like that. That on. And your idle control is up here. You twist this in or out, and that will lift up that slide and allow this bike to idle. Get your choke. Alright, then we can temporarily get that on in place. Alright, that looks good. Alright, let's start dealing with this gas tank here. Get this Petcock off of here. She's a little crusty. We might just let that sit in the ultrasonic cleaner. can see the filter in there. Pretty gunked up. Let's see what this looks like on the inside. I'm just gonna dunk that in the ultrasonic cleaner right away. Looks pretty good. There's little screws here. We might take those out. This feels pretty loose. I'm guessing that's gonna leak. So we'll let this sit in the ultrasonic cleaner for a bit. Come back and reinstall it and hopefully it doesn't leak. All right, Petcock is out of the ultrasonic cleaner. Let's take a look, see what we're dealing with here. Ooh, pretty hardened up. Looks like a homemade gasket there. Got a little gunk in here yet. It's getting there. Alright, that's pretty clean. Alright, that's pretty clean in there. Up there. Could use a little work. I mean, these are extremely tiny. You can lose those pretty easily. Alright, this plate comes off. Tiny screws. I think this pulls out. So we found out this was actually a twist off. So if we can get this out, I think that's going to be the clogged up piece. All right. So a little gasket washer right here. There we go. Oh yeah, look at those are clogged completely. That was their problem. There, now we're getting something. Looks like we've got a little bit of gunk here too. There's definitely supposed to be holes in there. Yep. Right here. Completely clogged. Alright, the only problem now is if gas is flowing out of here, we can't stop it because that little gasket in there was wrecked. So let's see if we got any gas flow here. Have to lift it up. Oh yeah, we've got gas flow. Spurting out of here. Put all new O-rings in here. So hopefully the carbs don't leak and we can just leave this thing on. It's gonna go. All right, here's the Petcock. We've got one nipple going to the carburetor down there, and one's gonna be going to the one here. I'm gonna try to use, oh, that might be too big. 1/4 inch we'll use. What line is this? This is 3/16. We'll try that. Yeah, that fits a lot better. So this one can go down to here. Over to here. That's pretty good. Now with this gas line, just gotta go through here like that. Nipple off here. Here. And our nipple. Push it all the way back. All right, mix up a little 40-to-1. We can add straight gas once we know the pump is actually running. We're not gonna pour a whole lot in. We wanna see if these carbs are leaking. All right. If these carbs are leaking, you can see the filter's filling up. I don't think that one's leaking. That filter's filling up still. That actually looks pretty good. So far, no leaking. Yeah, that filter is filling up. It's all the way full. No leaking yet. Let's see. Alright, that looks pretty good. Who thinks the battery's gonna work? Oh, the light's working. Well, we've got fresh fuel going to it. No leaking from the carbs. All the carbs are cleaned out. We have good spark. We have good compression. So there's no reason this thing shouldn't fire up. Let's see if she fires up here. We'll choke her. On, choke. That sounds amazing. Holy cow. The thing fired right up. Sounds really, really good. Idling perfectly. This carb's leaking a little bit. Look how snappy this thing is. We gotta get that RPM gauge hooked up, see if that works too. Not bad. Not bad for a $200 bike. Just clearing out. Well, that old battery from 2020 works too. That charged right up. I cannot believe it. This thing fired up in what, like 4 kicks? Crazy. It's running really good. And this is the carb that had the air screw stuck in there. That one seems to be idling perfectly. But yeah, the carb is leaking pretty good. We might try to take that carb off and adjust that a little bit, because it's leaking pretty good now. See that? So that's really the only issue I can see. We are going to check out that oil pump, see if that is blood at the bleeder screw back here. Yeah, so far so good. All right, we'll crack this one first. I believe this one's going to the left cylinder. See if oil comes out of there. Remember, this is being pumped up, so... Oh yeah, look at that. There's oil in there. Cool. So that one's getting oil to it. I don't know where this leads into. I'm guessing the bottom of the cylinder. Let's see if this one's got oil to it. Oh yeah. You can see the blue oil. Cool. So I think we're getting plenty of oil to this thing. So oil pump is working. Alright, so the right side carb was leaking pretty good. So that tells me that gas is coming past the bowl, the top of the bowl here, which we don't want. The gasket is ripped, but that shouldn't affect it. The gasket's just there to seal the carb. So I'm guessing the float height is wrong. We can try adjusting the float height just a little bit down more. See if that does anything for us. So that'll shut off the gas a little bit sooner, because it was getting filled up pretty high. Alright, we've got the carb hooked up here. So far no leaking. It was leaking right from the gasket there. So we'll have to run this thing, I think, and see if it causes a leak. No leaking. Cool. Gas is flowing good. Well, this thing is running great. Let's get everything back on it. So these covers have to be fitted up. Air filter has to be put back on. So to get the side cover on, this gas line needs to go through the hole right there at the top of here, and then feed back to there, and then we can get the cover on, and then the tube that goes between this boot and that boot. Alright, we finally got that one through. This can slide on like that. All right, let's see what's going on underneath this cover. Then I believe this can come off. There we go. That one came. And down there, that one is completely stripped off. Let's see if we can get her to budge. Oh yeah. I believe the cover can come off now. Alright, there's the sprocket in there. I don't know what size chain that would be. We'll have to see if we can find one long enough for this bike here. Alright, so I've got this 40 chain I found laying around. It looks like it might fit. so we can get a socket on there. Crack that one. Going in further. Alright, let's see where our chain lines up now. Before we were not in the right spot. Oh yeah, perfect. Alright, we just got the master on right here. So we're just gonna twist in on the tensioner until it's the right amount of slack here. And on the other side as well. Alright, chain's all installed. Look how smooth that is. That is nice. Let's see if I can see where the bolt is. Yeah, right there. There's the drain bolt. Let's get that out and see what this oil looks like. Pretty loose on there. That looks like brand new oil. Really clear. It's probably just gonna keep that oil in there. Wow, that is extremely clear. So somebody must have filled it up with brand new oil. Alright, oil is super clear. No chunks. That looks good. That can go right back in. Well, this one shined up pretty good. If we had the side covers, this thing would look really, really nice. So I think we're ready for the first ride on this thing. So let's see what happens. Hopefully it moves. Alright, it's pretty icy. We'll see if we can make it up and down the driveway here first. Alright, we got the idle fixed. The cable was getting pinched. That's why I was idling high. Pretty icy. Well, that was a super sketchy first ride. All the roads were completely iced over. My lawn as well. It's like 17 degrees here in Wisconsin. And yeah, everything's pure ice. So I was able to get this thing up to third gear and it was running pretty good. No issues at all. Brakes both work. Starts up first kick every time. Idling perfect now. The wires were pinched in the beginning. That's why I was revving high. We got that taken care of. Now idle's down low. Sounds really good. On the way back home, I think the tire popped. It got really wobbly and you can see it's off the rim here now. But that's really the only problem, the flat tire. Otherwise, this thing was running great, driving great. Clutch was working great and had lots of power. I know these bikes are supposed to go like 80 miles an hour, which is insane for 175. I don't know if I'm going to go that fast on this bike. But I'm guessing it probably does. This thing revs out good and feels like it has a lot of power for a little bike. But yeah, this one's pretty much done. We'll get that flat tire fixed, get it cleaned up a little bit more, and she'll be good to go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed picking up this 1968 Bridgestone 175. I know the seller told me he thought it was unfixable and would be a good parts bike. But we got her fixed up and running and driving today, which was unexpected. I thought the engine was for sure going to be junk on this one, being $200, but we lucked out once again and got a great deal on this bike. And now it runs and drives. So this one is good to go. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video. And until next time, we are out.